Hi everyone, my name's Rory Neary and today I'm going to show you how to use Microsoft Teams online in order to be able to communicate with your colleagues and even your neighbours. So here we are, we're on Google at the moment, and what I'm going to do is I am going to go and log into Microsoft Office. So I'm just going to go onto the plus icon, www.office.com. Now this will probably log me in, so what I'll do is I'll log out and then log back in again to give you the full experience. So if I go on to my face there, I should be able to sign out. Okay, if I go to Office again, then you can sign in. So I'm going to switch to a different account, and it's going to ask me for my password. It's going to ask me if I want to stay signed in. It's usually the best idea to stay signed in. And then here we are, and we're in Office. Now, for most people, you will actually get to see Teams as an icon. But if you don't, then all you need to do is go up to the top and type in Teams like this, and then you click on Teams. So you can either do it this way, or you can click on the Teams icon there. So most of this video is just going to be about the basics of using Teams. Now I've deliberately, it's going to probably ask me if I want to use the Windows app, and I'm going to choose to use the web app instead. And I think that for a lot of people it will be, it's a much more consistent experience for all the viewers of this video. So we're going to use the web app. And as you can see, we have landed directly in Teams. Now, as it happens, it's landed me into what's known as a channel within a team. So it can be quite confusing. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is that in order to kind of see what you'll be able to see, sometimes you'll actually not be able to see this. So just make sure that if you can't see it, then I'm just jumping onto the chat side of things. There's lots of, I've been having a chat with my mum on here. And so this is what kind of gave rise to this. So, and then if you click on Teams, then you get to see that you can be members of more than one team. And in fact, you can actually be members of more than one team in more than one organization. So you can see that I'm a member of different teams, obviously my own organization, but you can be in other organizations. So do be careful with that. But for most viewers of this, you're only going to be in your own organization. So I'm in Data Spinners here. So what you can see here is that I've got more than one team. So I've got a presentations team, I have got a shared presentations team, and I've got a collab team. Now my shared presentations team, this was when I was presenting with some other presenters, and that was quite useful to me. So the thing you need to know about one of the things that you need to know about Teams is that we'll go on to having a meeting. In fact, we'll have a meeting first. So the first thing we're going to do is have a meeting. So I'm going to go onto my calendar. There are lots of ways of creating meetings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange a meeting for now. Oops. Yeah, it says 9 AM, which is roughly about now. And what I'm going to do is test video meeting. Okay. And then I'm going to add require attendees, and then I'm going to call it my family because I've got that one open. And you can say add channel. You don't have to add a channel. And what that will mean is that you can put the recording into an actual channel, but let's not worry about too much. So testing for the video. And I can click send. Now at this point in time, that then becomes a meeting for a meeting that I can have. And what I can also, and obviously if I'm on my, if I go on to my my family at dataspinners.co.uk, then what we'll see is what we should see. Just bear with me. I'm going to go onto an incognito window and just show how that would work. So office.com. If I'm lucky, it'll actually log me straight into this user. So this is my Family Neary user. So they're going to go onto Teams now. So this is them. They've had an invite to be in a meeting. Now, they will get all the usual Office 365 things where they get to be in a meeting. And if we look on their calendar, we should see that they've actually got a meeting that they can actually join. So you can see that they've not agreed to, so you can accept, tentative decline, all the usual sorts of things. So I'm going to click accept on that. And what I'm actually going to do in this case is I'm going to join using my phone, and then I'm going to join on my computer. So I will join this meeting now. So you can actually join a meeting before it actually starts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join that meeting now, because this is the beating heart of these meetings. So there's two ways of joining. You can either join, so this is looking through my camera there. You can either turn the camera on or off. Now just bear in mind that, that if you have the camera off, it will come up with your Office 365 profile picture, and a lot of people don't have them. So what I think I'll do is I'll try and see if I can change the profile picture for the other member. So we'll go on to there. This is FN, and I'm going to go to, let's see, I've got an option to change the picture. I'm going to upload a picture. I'm going to upload any picture, and I will just go to, I'll just go and click on this. Actually, no, there's lots that I can choose from here. So I can go onto the gallery, and just see if I can see if there's a useful Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets. I have no idea what that's going to come up as. Oh, that's quite a nice one. So I'll go save on that. And it's a much nicer experience talking to someone when there's a picture than when there isn't one. So I'm going to refresh this. Now it may take a few minutes for it actually to come through. So don't be too concerned if that is the case. If we're lucky, it'll come through straight away, but I'm not too sure yet. No, it's not coming through yet. But don't worry too much about that. Just bear in mind that it may take a bit of time for it to come through. So I'm not going to join on the computer because that would just be completely weird. What I will do is I will join on the phone. So this user, this is me. I can join now, and you can join with or without audio. Now sometimes you will join without audio because maybe they're in the middle of a meeting and then you want to kind of go in like that. And so I can now click join now. So it'll show me that I'm the only person in the meeting in a second. So it's connecting me up, waiting for others to join. Now just bear in mind, this bit at the bottom, did you see it disappear? Yeah. If you don't move your mouse for long enough, then the bit at the bottom disappears. But this is really important. So I can now turn my camera on. So this is what other people will see. Hi everyone. And I can unmute myself. So this is make sure that they will hear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the meeting, but I'm going to join on my mobile phone. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto here and go onto my calendar. Oh, it's nice for you to know that I'm actually doing that. I'll do another thing on the phone. I don't think it's, stick with the doing it on the computer. So I'm on the phone and I'm going to go onto the calendar and I've got this test meeting here and I'm going to click join. I've just clicked on join to get myself in there. So that's going to try and join. It says, and in fact, it's I think it has joined. So I'm going to, it's joined the meeting actually. Great. And I'm just going to turn my camera off at this point in time. It says waiting for others to join, which is rather helpful. And it's just joining the meeting at the moment. So I think that I'm logged in on this as myself and not as the other member. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it around, because actually I'm going to go on to just hold on 1 second. So at the moment I am joined in as myself on the phone, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and join as the Family Neary online. So this could be you joining it. I've just seen it says, do you want to use your microphone, use a camera? And I'm going to say yes on that. I'm going to get allow that. And we should be good to go. So this is me joining as my family. And so let's see what happens on the phone. I'm going to click join now. And what we should see is that we should see both. Yeah, so that's who I'm meeting with, by the way. I'm meeting with myself, and I can now, you can actually see that this is what's coming through at the moment. So this is actually coming through on my phone, very peculiar. Now, but I can actually turn the camera off. So what we should find is if I turn the camera off here, then it should go off that. Yeah, you can see that I'm joined correctly, and if I was to mute it, it would mute it. Now the other thing that I can do is I can share my desktop. Now if I share my desktop, there's lots of complicated ways in which you can share it, but you're best off, it asks you which one you want to share. I'm going to share this one here. So it's going to be an option, either my top screen or my other screen. Just choose whichever screen you want. You have to actually click on the screen. In fact, I'm going to share the screen that we're all looking at. So then I'm going to click on share. And then what we should see is we should see that coming through on the phone now. In fact, we can see it coming through on the phone. So we can then kind of go on to here, and we should be seeing the same thing come through. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of latency between it sort of waking up and so on, but it's really important to be able to share your screen when you're working. But as you can see, you can flick between these quite easily. So just bear in mind, the other thing that's really good on this is the chat. So you can show the conversation. We've not had a conversation, but I can actually say, and you can see on the bottom we've got a notifications thing. So if people send you messages, you can know that they've got them. So I'm going to click turn on that. I'm going to do a hello world message there. And what that is going to do is going to give me a hello world message. In fact, you saw it come up on the screen there, which is actually quite well. Of course, you saw it come up on the screen. So, but what you need to do on that is you need to go on to the chat here. Let's start recording. Right. So the chat will come up for both parties. I'm not going to do this as specifically a session on the mobile, because to be honest, I don't use it that much. Just bear in mind that you can put different things in the chat, and it's quite nice. But if you don't know you can do it, then that's quite important. So we've the 3 dots. What we've got, we don't need to worry too much about that. You can actually record the meeting. Not sure if I'm be too worried about that. I've never used the keypad. You can do full screen. I'm not too fussed about that either. You just probably won't not know how to get out of full screen if you do that. And then on the show participants, you can actually see who is in the meeting, and then you can meet someone else, invite someone else. So I can put in Tess, because I know I've got a user called Tester, and now it's actually going to call them, so they're not available because they're not actually online. But you can actually also invite people outside your organisation. So Rory Neary, and so you can see that there are other. You can have meetings outside your organisation. So that is how having a meeting. Make sure at the end of your meeting, well, first of all, stop sharing. That's a good thing to do anyway. But also, just bear in mind you can mute yourself and things like that. It's quite good practice if there's lots of people in the meeting. And at the end of the meeting, you need to hang up. So you hang up. Now, it is good to have organised meetings, because they just kind of sit there. You can just do kind of quick meetings, that's okay, but the organized meetings are a better user experience, so I would use those because you can join them in advance and so on, not necessarily at the time, and you get notifications and so on. So I'm going to hang up at this point in time, so I'm out of that. You can see, and I can see if I click on here, and that was what I wanted to show. If you click on there, then it's gonna make this pane come out, and we can see the concept of channels here. So there's more than one. There's more than one channel here. A channel is a container for kind of conversations and different elements. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to myself, and that way I'll be able to show you more teams. Now, this user, Family Neri, is only in one team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually invite it to another team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump out to hopefully myself. In fact, that wasn't myself. This is the joy of doing this. So I'm just going to hit the minus on this and see what happens. I may be in, I'm going to come out of that. And yeah, there's me there, and there's my teams. We could see that we had a bit of a chat there. It just said hello world on there. And I think we might be able to, no, there's no activity yet. But what you can do on activity, if you at someone, so I'm going to go into a chat, and you can do things like, so within I'm going to go into Teams here. In this general channel, there's posts here, and then I'm going to at someone. It's really useful to be able to at someone. So I'm going to at my family. Hi, I found a good website, www.bbc.co.uk. Okay, and I can send this now. And then from the perspective of the other person, what they'll actually see is they'll see something in the activity, and they may even get a notification, that sort of thing. So I'm just going to see if I can jump out to that user, and you can actually see on the activity that now, well, actually I was waiting for my chat actually. We should get a notification. Not on this occasion, but yeah. I'm just going to go onto my Teams, and you can actually see it in there. Family Neri, hi, I found a good website. You do actually get notifications, and I can see that there's no notifications here. So what I would have expected is under the activity we would have actually seen something on this. So it's getting a little bit confusing, and I apologise for that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch back to myself, I hope. And this is myself, I can see that there. And what I'm going to do is on this shared presentations, I'm going to share this with the My Family user. So what I'm going to do is go add member. This is really important, slightly more advanced. I'm going to type in My Family. Oops. I'll type in family. This has gone a bit, so it's just a different way of getting to the same thing. So Family Neri. What you can do, you can usually get away with My Family at dataspooners.co.uk. There. So it will actually get you there, but it takes a little bit longer. So I'm going to add that to, I'm going to add that user to the team. And what that means is the other user should be able to see all the elements of the team. So I'm going to switch back again. And what we should do is we go onto the teams. We should see that I'm now in this team, and I can see all the contents of the team. I should be able to see the conversations within the team. So you can see, and in fact, you can see the history of the conversations in the team as well. So one final thing is that there are channels. So on this 365 collab, we've got more than one channel. And what I'm going to do is set up a channel. So I'm going to bounce back here. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to go onto here. and I'm going to go add channel, and I'm going to call test channel, and then I'm going to click add, and notice this says accessible to everyone in the team. I would recommend that's how you do it. It's more advanced to do it privately. So I'm going to click add on that, and the channels are really useful because you can have conversations within channels. So this is our first conversation piece on. There we are. Hi at family Neri, how are you? So you can imagine this as projects and things like that. So how are you? That's fine. And then if we switch back, we can see. In fact, this is quite cool because I'm going to put the notifications on here, and that means that you'd actually get something pop up on your screen to say something's happened. And you can see that in this case, the reason why that had a big dot was because I actually added them. And so this is a far superior way of being able to see that, being able to track a series of conversations. And so if you've got multiple projects, but for example, you can use these as a way of tracking them. Clearly, it's not going to be big boy projects that would manage themselves this way, but it is quite effective. So the last thing I'm going to show you, and it is more advanced, you can just stop here, that's fine, is that we are going to, so before we do that, actually, just remember, go to your calendar. If you want to join a meeting, you just click on join, it's fine. You can also join them from your Outlook, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. In fact, I shall see if I can flash it up on the screen. But you can join it from Outlook. You just click the go button and then you're okay. So there's me on Outlook. I don't want to show you too much sort of things. And you can see that on Outlook, you can actually see that meeting there. And if you double click on it, you should be able to go into the meeting. It's just like pregnant pause whilst it sort of sorts itself out. So the experience when you're in Outlook is slightly different. But what will happen is if you go to join Teams meeting, you can then join it online. In fact, I'm just going to click on it and just see what it does. I'll dismiss that. I'm getting warnings of all sorts here. So in actual fact, it's actually joining me using the app. And I'm going to say, look, you can, but I'm just saying, just use the one online. It's fine. So I'm not going to join that meeting. I'm going to close it down here. And I'm going to X out of that, and I'm going to X out of this, and then I'm just going to jump back to I think we're just about done. So then so what I wanted to show you was that in these you can put different things into your channels. So so if you're having chats and so on, you have chats. They're a one-to-one concept. So this is me having a chat with my mum, and we were just sending each other's photos and things like that. So it's perfectly fine to you can see videos in there and so on. But this one is an actual chat. It's not the same as a team. So it's just between myself and them, and so what I wanted to show you though is if I go onto an actual team and onto this channel, I can add things, and there are loads of things you can add. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but you could add a Power App or probably a planner. To be fair, this is the best thing if you're doing a genuinely trying to kind of get work done, and it's now going to offer me use an existing plan, advent calendar. I don't have many on this tenant anyway, and so I'm going to click save on that, and then what will happen is my planner will show up there. And the important thing to know on this is that you can actually click on the go to website, and it will take you all the way out to proper planner if that's kind of what you want, and then you can add tasks and all those things. You can do it from within Teams and so on. But I mean, the more observant of you will have noticed that you can add, things like Power BI reports. You can videos. Videos are a great thing to put in. So you could go onto Power BI, and I do have lots of these. And you can choose, so I can go on to 365 Collab. It's got nothing in there because, yeah, it's an empty workspace. I'll go on to Premier League, EPL review, and then click save. And what that will do is it'll actually bring up that report onto the screen, which is quite a nice experience. Do remember that you can actually put websites on there. So, and I think that's quite good as well. So you can go to websites and go to website. I won't bother putting the name, but I'll put www.bbc.co.uk. Why is it? Oh, it's probably HTTPS. HTTPS // Oh no, nearly there. Yeah, it's happy now. And this is going to put the BBC website in. I hope. Do you know what? I think this is a little bit buggy because I think if you actually click on this thing here, it will actually take us to the BBC. Yeah, and it does. Maybe I've made a mistake on that one, but it does generally work very well. So that's all I wanted to show you on Teams online. It is a really good experience, really good. Remember that if someone's in a team, then you don't need to share the channels with them. They get them shared with them anyway. So this was all about you being able to share things with your family members and your colleagues. By all means, I think it's a great opportunity for us to have conversation, yes, with our colleagues, but also with family members who, and as we're all kind of isolated at this point in time, you can tell the age of this video already. So good luck with this, and post any comments down below if you need to. Thank you. One final thing is just remember to remember to share it. I think there's a bell icon somewhere where you can get notifications as well. So as I bring out new content, you'll be able to find that out a little bit sooner. So see you again soon.